When you scroll through pro-Russian Telegram channels, you can see countless videos of Western and Ukrainian equipment being destroyed by one particular type of drone – Lancet. Lancet has gained a reputation as Russia's most effective weapons against higher-value targets like Western-provided tanks and artillery systems.
Сам он сделан из композитных материалов, легкий, бесшумный, может нести до 5 килограммов взрывчатки в зависимости от модификации и находиться в воздухе около часа.
Lancets are manufactured by the Russian Zala Aero Group. Like other Russian defense producers, the group has been targeted by Western sanctions and export restrictions. In theory, the sanctions are supposed to be effective against the production of drones, which are highly dependent on imported parts. In reality, the use of Zala Aero's drones in the Russian war against Ukraine has been growing. Over the past year, it tripled. So, how is it possible? This investigation started when we obtained emails of Zala Aero Group employees that were hacked by Ukrainian intelligence. We also tracked down Russian tax data on the suppliers of the Zala Aero Group and Russian customs records on the imported goods it was purchasing. It provides us with some understanding of how the company manages to continue to operate. Meet the Zakharovs: Alexander, Svetlana, Nikita, Maria, Lavrenti, the family behind the Zala Aero Group. Their family business keeps growing despite the sanctions.
Это Lancet и тот тоже Lancet. Это разведчик, с которым они работают в паре.
Russia has used the Lancet drones against Ukraine around 7,000 times, according to the Ukrainian Air Force. The use of the Lancet drones in the first 10 months of 2024 grew almost threefold compared to the same period in 2023, according to a Russian monitoring group. Instead of shutting down production due to a shortage of imported components, the group has been investing in it. In September 2022, Zala Aero ordered 7 million machines for a total of nearly $800,000. We found the contract in the leaked emails of Zala Aero employees. These indicate the expansion of production. We were also able to get Russian tax authorities' data, and we found a shocking figure. In the first quarter of 2024 alone, Zala Aero Group was able to earn nearly $90 million by supplying the Russian army and other armed formations. All this data confirms a sad fact. Zala Aero Group hasn't stopped its deadly production, despite the West's efforts to hinder it. Ukraine has a public register of foreign items discovered in captured Russian weapons. The register is run by the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Agency. It includes a list of components found in Lancets that were downed by Ukraine. The Lancet had components from a number of American companies. There were also components from other countries, such as Switzerland, Germany, South Korea, and others. Now, the most important question: how does Zala Group procure those imported parts despite sanctions? The answer is China. Acting as both a producer and a distributor of foreign manufacturers, China has been the lifeline to Zala Group. There are two ways how Zala Group gets the imported parts. One of them is through a separate procurement company in Russia. We identified two companies that imported foreign parts for Zala Group's drone production: OMP and Spetstechnotrade. One was founded by a Zala Aero employee and another by the employee's father. The ownership structure appears to be an attempt to safeguard the companies from a direct association with military production. These two companies are suppliers to Zala Aero's two main drone manufacturers, Aeroscan and CST, according to the Russian tax service data. The import records indicate they have purchased goods from a number of Chinese and Hong Kong suppliers. We asked some of these companies about supplying Russia's drone production during the war. One supplier, Star Rapid Manufacturing, responded via email stating, "At the time of our dealings, OMP presented itself as an independent entity, and OMP confirmed that the parts were not related to military equipment. Now you know why these Russian buyers were registered by unknown employees of Zala Group and not to the well-known Zakharov family. It makes it easier for them to confuse their suppliers. It's chains like that: a Hong Kong reseller, a Russian broker, and finally a Russian drone manufacturer that put a Western-made camera inside a drone that hunts down Western-donated equipment on the battlefield in Ukraine. The second way to purchase imported parts is through Russian trading companies. These are unaffiliated external Russian suppliers like Online Trade, Chip and Deep, HartistDV, and many others. They also imported many goods from China and Hong Kong. The goods that were banned from being sold to Russia by the United States and Europe, like microprocessors, semiconductors, RAM modules, digital cameras, DC motors, and many others. What do we know about the origin of these goods? Some of them were produced in China, others were most likely made in Ukraine's partner countries in the West. Among the HartistDV suppliers was a Hong Kong company named Ization Technology. It calls itself a distributor of Western brands like NXP and Xilinx. As you already know, their details were found in the Lancets downed in Ukraine. So what can be done? Experts name two solutions. The first is to escalate economic restrictions with China. The second option is to investigate Western-produced components that end up in Russian weapons and impose real penalties against them. If Western suppliers stopped selling critical components to intermediary countries that resell them to Russia, it would deprive Russia of some of the key weapons it uses to wage its war in Ukraine. Meanwhile, as Western allies continue to spend billions of dollars on buying weapons for Ukraine, Russia continues to destroy them with its own weapons powered by Western electronics. That's it. If you find the issue important, please like this video and share it with your friends. There is much more to the story, so don't forget that you can read the full version of the investigation on the Kyiv Independent website. And if you would like to support independent investigative journalism with a donation, please become a member of the Kyiv Independent in the link in the description below. We have just launched a campaign to reach 1,000 new members by the end of the year. It's our viewers and readers who help us provide independent journalism.